Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Stephanie join us from United States. So Stephanie, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. So my name is Stephanie Blake, and I am the founder and CEO of the Blake Collective, which is the parent company of my two sub-companies called the Simple Business School, which is a membership where we help entrepreneurs simplify their businesses so that they can work less than 20 hours a week. And then I also have an all-in-one software tool called the Simple Business Suite, where, you guessed it, we help online business owners simplify their software so that they can work less.
Oh, let's gonna touch something that I really like. I really love something that you said there, that you guys have a system or some knowledge there to share with the business owners so they can only work 20 hours. 20 hours, what is it? A week? A month?
Yep.
What is
a week? 20
wow,
hours a week. Yeah. Or less if you want to work less.
Yeah. I'm on it. Yeah, I'm in 100%, right? I remember, and let's gonna touch base this because the thing that you're saying is actually truth. I experience it, and a lot of people don't. A lot of entrepreneurs don't believe that this is possible, right? Especially small business owners. You started the business, and now you're wearing all those hats, and you're doing everything: the sales, the marketing, the this, the that, and kind of the entrepreneur get used to do all these gazillion tasks, right? Which is a lot of time consuming. And I remember when I was starting my first business, was a property business. I remember that when I wake up, my computer was on my lap, and I'm like, wow, I fell asleep with the computer. So I was doing like crazy 12, 14 hours. I'm doing everything, and there is nobody else anyway, right? But I remember that as soon as the business grow, we managed to sell over 5 million in this property business. It get to the point that I was not needed in the office anymore. I'm going to the office and the whole company tell me, Harry, go home. We don't need you. I'm like, what? I said, you guys don't need at least paper for the photocopy? No, go home and stay. We don't need you, right? So, and it was amazing, right? The whole thing was running on autopilot. So I align 100% with what you just shared with us, right? And it's amazing. So tell us a little bit more, Stephanie. What process do you have with the small business owner? Because to reduce to 20 hours a week is gonna make a huge difference. But I know, because I've been in this transition to being someone that is doing everything, only to take it to 20 hours a week, is they will tell you don't know what you're talking about. My business is different. This is not possible. They will tell you all this, and so tell us a little bit more. What you tell to these people?
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to start with a little background first because I think it will help to explain this. So at this point, I've been in business for 8.5 years, and prior to that, I was working in corporate. So I was just in a very traditional corporate job before I started my company. Nobody in my family was entrepreneurial. So I just kind of figured it all out on my own. And the first year that I started my business, I had 8 different businesses and I was working easily 80 to 100 hours a week while in my corporate job. So I was doing a lot of different things. So I completely understand when you're saying you have to wear all of the hats. Yes, I was wearing all of the hats. It was just me. In 8 different businesses. But the funny thing about that is that first year in business, I made $53 from 8 different businesses. You know why? Because my attention was just all over the place, right? I was not focusing on the right things that I needed to be doing because I didn't know what I was doing, right? I was
Nobody does when you
nobody,
start the business. It's like nobody,
right,
it's nobody knows. Yeah.
right, right. Like I
So
didn't
you
have
decide, Stephanie, let's stop that a little bit. So you decide that was good
yeah,
idea when you have your corporate job
yeah,
to have 8 different business at the same time.
I did. I thought it was a brilliant idea because here's what I was thinking. Because
Oh, I'm
the
loving. We're
only
gonna have a lot of fun today. Keep going. Yeah. The more
the
I eat,
only
the
thing
more
that
I
I was
like it more.
yeah, the only thing I was thinking is I want to get out of this job. I want to get out of this corporate job. So the more businesses I have, the more money I'll make. Right.
Mm.
That's what I was thinking because it made sense. Right. If you have one business that serves this person, those people are going to give me the money. And then this business is going to serve another person and so on and so forth. So that's what I did because I didn't know any better. And it
Absolutely.
got,
And how
yeah,
much you were making?
$53 that whole year. That whole year.
Wow.
Yeah. 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 It was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. But also, I will say, so at that time, like I said, I was in a very traditional life, right? Like I worked in corporate, and then I stumbled onto this magical online world where anything was possible, right? So I had an e-commerce shop, I did drop shipping, I did virtual assistant work. Like I had all of these different things that I was trying to do because it was just all new and exciting. And I also had undiagnosed ADHD at the time as well. So there was just there was all this potential and it was just so exciting. And that's where I see a lot of people, they fall into that trap too, especially in the beginning where it's like, it's just so exciting. It's
Wow.
fun. We all have these dreams of creating these really incredible lives for ourselves, right? That's why we start these businesses so that we can have more freedom. And then very quickly, like you noticed, it just snowballs into us working constantly and having less freedom than if we were in a corporate
In
job.
the job, yes, worse than a
Yeah,
job. Yeah. But
yeah,
then
yeah,
Tiffany, okay, but because I am, but what you just shared with us, right? They were paying you very good money in corporate. So why you want to live your comfortable life? That these companies, they make sure that they pay you good money, that they keep you comfortable, right? So why
yeah.
you gonna drop all this and start 8 businesses that's gonna make $53? It doesn't make sense. Yeah. So
Well,
after the first year, you say I'm coming back to my corporate. So what make you keep going? What happened? Why do you want?
yeah,
Why you don't? What happened? Why you want to risk your comfortable life to become an entrepreneur?
yeah, great question. And if you would have told me before I started that I would only make $53, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, leave it on 90. We
Right.
all been there. We all been
Yeah.
there. We don't know what we're getting into it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you would have told me I was working 100 hours a week and I would not see my husband or my friends, I wouldn't have done it either. Right. But
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's the whole entrepreneurial journey for all of us, regardless of the business that we're in. Like
Absolutely.
we choose this life because we want something bigger and better for ourselves and our families.
Absolutely. 100%. And then, Stephanie, so then why after for me it's a success and I can tell you why, yeah, regardless that you think that you made $53 and it was a disaster. I know that it was a great success because having 8 business at the same time and having a corporate job. When I built my first business, I also have a job, right? My job was in room service in the Hilton in London because here when you come to UK and you don't speak English, you have to work in the bar or in the Hilton until you manage to learn a little bit more, right? So I built my business while I was working in the Hilton and was one, and it was a lot wearing all the hats, like I said, no sleeping, not making money, and then you decided to have 8 at the same time. But what happened is that after the year you have an amazing skill developed, right? Being an entrepreneur is about skill. The more you practice, the better you become. This doesn't come out of you can read a book and you can get some knowledge and some idea, but until you don't go to the hard work and you develop this skill, uh, unless that somebody get even lucky, but not even that, eventually you have to develop this skill. So for me, it was a success because in 1 year, now you are not an entrepreneur, you are a serial entrepreneur. you develop a skill to have one more business. On one business of the beginning is a headache, you might have several. Oh, God. And I used to have several at the same time. That I will tell you later. And but then, so what happened after next year? After next year, you say, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm gonna focus and I'm gonna make this work, or you were thinking like, maybe this is not as easy as things. I'm coming back to my corporate career.
Yeah, no, I stuck with it because I knew I'm a very stubborn person. Right? Like if I want something, I'm gonna get it. And I don't care what it takes, right? Like
That's the way of doing it, right?
yeah, that's how I've always been. And I knew that I wanted this because at that point I was newly married. We didn't have any kids, but I knew once we did decide to have kids, I didn't want to be working in an office all day. Like I wanted to spend time with them. I wanted to watch them grow up. Right. So that was really my bigger reasoning behind why I wanted to do this, even when I had zero success. Right.
You
And
still
then
wanted to have the control of your own life, and you decide you
yeah,
wanted to design your own life on your own terms, right?
exactly.
And
Yeah.
I start from
And
zero, from $53 after a year, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And in a few years after that, so about 2 years after that, I found out that I was pregnant with my first son.
Oh my God.
And in that interim period, I didn't have 8 businesses. I had about 3, but I was still
Which is a good
trying
number
to
for you,
juggle.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, that
You
was a good
pick your
number.
favorite out of the 8, yeah.
Yeah, I picked my favorite. I picked the most lucrative one. And that was really what I focused on with some other things here and there. But that was really the catalyst to make me realize how important it was for me to take care of myself. Because, I mean, you've obviously never been pregnant, right? You're not a woman. But when you're pregnant, that first trimester is the most difficult part, especially for your first pregnancy, because you don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
Right? It's
yeah.
you,
And it's very
like your entire,
tiny, yeah.
yeah, your
Very
body's
stressful.
changing.
I have a
Yeah.
nephew, I saw the process, and he's
Yeah.
my brother, and it was difficult, yeah, because you have this
Yeah.
tiny thing, very delicate, and you don't know what to do, right?
Right. But even before that, even before my son was born, when I was pregnant still, and I was so tired. I was so tired, and I was not able to physically do all of the work that I was doing before. So I knew, I said, okay, these are my 2 options. One, end up in the hospital, potentially hurting myself or my child, or 2, figure out a way to simplify this so that I can work less. I went with
Absolutely.
option 2,
Mhm.
right? And that was really what forced me to simplify everything in my own business. And then for the past almost 5.5 years is what I've been showing people how to do in their businesses too. But it wasn't because I wanted to do it. If
It
I
happened
had the
by
choice,
accident, yeah. You
right,
didn't
it
all
happened
of
by
a
accident.
sudden your time got cut, and then now you need productivity tools. There is no way.
Exactly.
And I'm a big fan of productivity tools, right? And like I said, but the first thing is, to talk with the mindset of the entrepreneurs, because when you come to talk to someone and you tell them, listen, we're gonna give you a strategy, right? And you will be able to work 20 hours a week. They they think that this is realistic, right? And that this is not possible because they have to work with this hard, and then. But I think that this type of conversation that we have, in the more education we put onto the space, right? People need to know that if this is your business, you're passionate to go and work there 8 hours, 10 hours every day, that's fine. That's okay. This is what you love. But if you have kids, if you would like to travel, if you want to spend time with your family, if you want some freedom to do some yoga, to walk, or to whatever, and you own a business, all these things are possible for you, right? Because entrepreneurs, Stephanie, they take a lot of heat, right? When they start the business, like you took, like I took at the beginning, right? You have this thing. First, you have this business idea. Then you have your first client. Then the first client doesn't pay you. Then the supplier doesn't pay you. Then nothing is working, right? And all
Yep.
you are accumulating all this negative baggage, right? And this is, you don't realize that you're going through a process, that you have to develop a skill, that you have to find solutions quickly, that you have to. I remember that in my first business, I was wearing like all the hats, right? And it was crazy, all the work, but I was thinking like, no way, I cannot hire people. How come if I, but then I have a property business, and I was thinking, if I hire someone and they open the door and they steal the computer from my clients, no way, I prefer to keep doing. Or to the point that I couldn't physically, it happened actually by accident. I took more properties than I can actually handle it, right? I couldn't handle it more. And then I have 2 rooms empty, and maybe these 2 rooms empty will give me like £1,000, and that's the same thing that I was making in the Hilton by working for a month.
Right.
And then
Right.
I'm thinking,
Exactly.
one day I'm thinking, but hold on a minute, it's only take me 3 hours, 4 hours to rent this couple room. What I am doing is still working full time for the same one. And from this day I quit, and 17 years and I haven't looked back, right? But I was attached. I was attached to, this is my business. I control everything. I don't want anybody to do anything. I don't trust anybody. My clients, I work so hard for these clients. I work so hard to find this property. There is no way that I'm going to employ someone and it's going to mess it up for me. Yeah. Until one point that, like I said, what happened is that because I went to the Hilton, I quit the Hilton. Then guess what happened? After 2 days, I rented 2 rooms. Then I had absolutely nothing to do because I managed everything. And then because I have absolutely nothing to do, then I took more houses. And then because I have absolutely nothing to do, I hired someone for sales. And the girl for sales, they were better than me. Then I figured out that, oh my God, this hiring people and having productivity tool is amazing. It's not like, long story short, we managed to sell like 5 million, and it was maybe like 2 employees and 3 subcontractors. It was a
Yeah.
very small team making a photo, but a lot of productivity tools went in place. And I remember something that I trained them, Stephanie, by accident. I remember, yeah, and that's happened by accident. That's how I make it not needed in the office. I remember that I put a sign behind my desk that I said, "Don't bring me a problem if you don't have a solution." I put that behind me, right? So then everybody comes to me, Harry, I had this problem. I said, "Do you read on the top? Do you have a solution?" No. Okay, you sit, and when you bring the solution, bring me a problem. And all of a sudden, by accident, I trained, because otherwise I was solving everybody's problem. I was telling to my guys, guy, if I pay you to solve the problem, if I pay you to work here and then I solve your problem, why I'm paying you for? This doesn't make sense to me, right? You have to solve it. You can come to me and talk to me, but so because I was sending it back all the time, and they were solving the problem themselves, at some point there was like a thing in the office. No, no, don't ask Harry. He's not going to solve anything for you. Don't waste your time. I'm like, don't mock me like this. It's not like that. You can talk to me. I said, the people said, don't waste your time, fix it yourself. And at the end, eventually, we created a culture in the company, and it was in a point that everything was an autopilot, right? Now, being a mom, right, and being in business is you have to manage your time very, very effectively. I have a nephew. I know how it is. Yeah. But my brother, they own a business with the wife, and literally they only have 3 hours to work in the whole
Yep.
day. They have 3 hours to do everything, which is when the boy is in the school or whatever, because no, like it seems you need to take the boy, then you need to pick him back. It's not. So in 3 hours they have to run everything. So Stephanie, so which productivity tools, right, or which systems do you have in place based on your own experience that actually have make a big difference for your business and for your clients?
Yeah, well, the one part of being a parent, that's absolutely true. Absolutely. I have 2 kids right now.
Oh my
One
God.
is actually
Now
in
you have
school
1
right
hour
now.
and a half only for your business.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
So in 1
my
hour and a
husband's not
half, you have
working
to do
anymore.
everything.
Right. Well,
Okay.
my husband's not working anymore.
Uh,
So he's home and he helps. But I mean, truly, like my son is in school right now. He's in school for 2 hours. And then I have my 1.5-year-old, he's sleeping right now. And that's really when I do the majority of my work is when they are either asleep or out of the house. And like
incorporate no
again,
way that you can do that, right? You have to.
right, you have to set your business up in a way that makes that possible. Right. So it kind of depends on the business model that you have and the type of company that you want to run. But if you're sitting here saying it's not possible for me, I'm telling you that it is possible for you. We just have to be really strategic with how we set your business up to accomplish that. So if you have a brick and mortar business, that means somebody has to be in there, right? So maybe that means hiring somebody, right? If you have an online business, great. Maybe that means we can use more automation, different tools, right? Hire some virtual assistants for a lower cost, right? But regardless of the type of business you have to remember that you didn't create it to be working 24/7. So you need to think about why you're doing this.
Mm.
What are you getting out of working all of the time? Because that's a piece that a lot of people are thinking about, right? A lot of people get their worth or their worthiness from working constantly. When the reality is that you are not your company. Your company is its own thing. You are your own person, right?
100%.
You are not going to be here forever. Your company can live for forever, right?
Exactly.
If you set it up that way. So what kind of life do you want to live during your time on here? And I'm guessing since you're an entrepreneur listening to this, you don't want to be working all the time. You actually want to enjoy your life. So we need to make sure that we're setting your company up so that you can actually enjoy your life and you're not sitting behind a computer for 60 years and not even living.
Yeah.
Right?
Actually, Stephanie, yeah, they are devaluing the business. If the business that they have, if they are not around, the business can operate. They are devaluing the business because you cannot sell it. You cannot exit that thing because the whole business, if you're not around, it doesn't work, right? So
Yep.
the building the systems, the standard operation procedures, the productivity tools, go to this equation how we can take the founder and write down work in the business to work on the business, because this is what I find out in my own experience, right? I was doing everything, but I was bad at everything. When I hire my team, honestly, that they say people that were way better than me. The people that they do the management and the operation were better than me. The subcontractors, every vertical, they were 100% better than me in all the time because they are specialized in what they do and they do this all the time. So obviously they are very effective, right? And at the end of the day, we're talking about all these negatives baggage that the entrepreneur takes, right? Wearing all those hats. And then what happens is that, sometimes emotional pain can lead to physical pain, right? And you see a lot of entrepreneurs there that they have multi-million pounds and then they have cancer and they have a heart attack and you're like, what happened? I have friends that, the conference, they invite me to a conference, one, a multi-millionaire friend of mine, and, just, and by the way, he was making a fortune, right? But all of a sudden, with his year is gone. I'm thinking, how come this guy so wealthy, right? Couldn't put more attention in the health, could take more holidays, could take more,
Yeah, there's stories about this
you
all of the
really
time.
need, and it's sometimes that you're so involved in the business, you have to make this work. Now you have 100 employees. Look, I have a client that is on the CEO of 300 supermarket. He has 4,000 employees, and every time that I think about him, I get depressed. I know that he loves it, yeah, But oh my God, I don't see myself with 4,000 employees. What a headache.
That sounds awful.
Do you want this for your life? I'm like, man, and he also had children. Oh my God. Why go through this? If you can make a lot of money with a small team, with a lot of productivity, find a good niche, and but I think everybody's different. I'm not saying this, right? That's his passion, and for sure he's happy. However, sometimes he's calling me. No, I'm in the hospital. I have sugar problem. I'm thinking, why are you doing the hospital? You don't need to stay Monday to Sunday running the whole thing, because take some time for your health, take some time for enjoy your life as an entrepreneur, right? So what do you think, Stephanie? What happened that sometimes the entrepreneur get caught into this? They get trapped into their own business and they cannot get out. Yeah. How bad do you think
Yeah.
that is for people out there? Because I see.
Yeah, I mean that.
I
Yeah, it happens for a lot of different reasons. I mean, there's more people that I can count who have businesses that they worked all day for, like literally almost 24 hours a day, and then a few years later they
Monday
just
to
shut their
Sunday.
business down.
Yeah. Monday to Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they get divorced, right? Like that's something that people aren't talking about. People are getting divorced because
Yeah.
their marriages are suffering. Their relationships with their children are suffering. And truthfully, is it worth it? Is it worth it to make money if nobody in your life wants to be around you, or you end up sick and you end up hospitalized and you can't even run your company anyway? I mean, personally, that's not it for me, right? Like that's not what I want. And I mean, again, this happens for a lot of different reasons, but the biggest one is usually because people are trying to find their worth outside of themselves, right? So they just turn into these workaholics who are only feeling valued and loved and supported when they're working. So that's what they do. And truthfully, this is all subconscious for most people. They don't even realize they're doing it. They just know that they have to go, do, work in order to have that level of fulfillment that they think they need, right? When in reality, what we need to do is we need to figure out what you actually want with your life and start there, and then build your company around your life, not building your life around your company. Because I can tell you right now, it's not going to turn out well for you.
Yeah.
It's going to do much more harm than good, right? So that's why we need to strategically set your business up first, like, around your life. So say you want to, like, I love online businesses. Like those are the types of people that I work with. And I specifically do that because I want to be able to travel. If I have to leave tomorrow somewhere, I don't want to have to worry about a store. I don't want to have to worry about like any like real estate or houses or anything that I just want to go. Exactly. And I can work from anywhere with a Wi-Fi connection or a data connection. I can connect to my phone, right? So like that's what I want for myself, but maybe somebody else doesn't want that. So you have to figure out what it is that you want for yourself first and foremost. And then we need to look at what's going on in your business right now. So, and a lot of the time, I know you've been talking a lot about hiring, which is so incredibly crucial once you get to a certain stage, but I'm sure there's people listening who aren't even at the point where they feel like they can hire.
Exactly.
Right? Whether they don't have the money, like they actually don't, they can't afford it, or they are scared, right? So for anybody at that stage, if you don't feel like you're ready to hire right now, what I would ask you to do is just sit down, and this is not going to be fun. I'm just going to tell you that right now, but make a list. Just make a list of everything that's going on in your business right now, everything that you're doing. And what's going to happen is after you actually start to write all of these things down, you're going to see that there's a lot of things on that list that you don't even need to be doing, right? So you can kind of get rid of those all the way, or just cross those off your list. And then we also want to look at and see, okay, what are the things that actually need to be done? What are the things that I need to do? Okay, so you as the business owner. And then what are the things that we can automate if possible? And then what are the things that we can potentially delegate in the future if we're not at that point yet? Okay. And once you have that list in front of you, I promise you that it will shock you, because you're going to realize how many things that you've been doing for such a long time and you didn't even realize that you were doing all of them. And a lot of them are just very mindless things that aren't leading to a direct ROI in your business.
Yeah, I think that Stephanie, for me, I think I was so lucky that this I learned this in the hard way, right? I'm same like you, right? That, I love a lot of businesses, so I opened my real estate business. I opened an English school because my clients from the real estate, when they live in the rooms, I'm asking why you live in the room. I said no, because I'm come to UK. They will usually come from Europe. I'm coming to UK to learn English, and I haven't learned. So then I said, okay, don't worry, we'll open a English school for you to learn English. And then they were saying, no, we're leaving because I cannot find a job. So I opened a career advice for them. And now that we're finding a job, right? So I was opening all these business with the same client base, which it was very good, right? Because I was like upselling, right, the services to my same client base, and in paper look very good, yeah. But I went over enthusiastic, and I asked them once. Most of them were from Spain, and I said, "What guys do you?" And they were telling me, "Harry, why you don't do a Spanish restaurant? A Spanish restaurant?" I said, "You guys want a Spanish restaurant? I'll make a Spanish restaurant for you." Oh boy, did I get that wrong! I lost over 200,000 pounds and 2 years of my life inside their place. And it didn't
And you
work.
didn't create that restaurant for
It
you, though.
happened that I didn't have so many tenants to keep a restaurant going, and I had to
Yeah.
do marketing. And then I'm Monday to Sunday there for 2 years. I'm putting money from the profit I was making, another business goes to loss. But long story short, this restaurant almost collapsed on my business. I had to let that thing go, and I lost my girlfriend that I had back then. I lost the whole money. Now I had to build up my company. That company that I don't need to go. Of course, it was running in autopilot, but I haven't been in 2 years in the office because I was in the restaurant.
Yeah.
So that company hasn't seen me in 2 years. So at least I went there. Hi guys, hello, how we doing? Let's be a little bit more because I need your money. Do you know what I mean? And it was a total disaster. So I learned what I didn't want, right?
Right. But
I
the reason you
didn't
started
know
that
that
restaurant wasn't
I
for
didn't
you.
know exactly what I want back then, but I really
Yeah.
learned what I don't want. I said,
Yeah.
this is 2 years without seeing my family. I couldn't take any holiday without seeing my family. Is Monday to Sunday locked inside a place, and I'm working so many hours. No. I don't want this for my life. So yeah, I think I learned in a hard way. It cost me it cost me 200,000. So if anybody is listening out there, right, you can save a lot of money if you pay attention what Stephanie is sharing with us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
And
one thing I
health
want to
and
point out,
time and you name it.
yeah, and again, like you didn't build your life around that business. You decided to open this restaurant for somebody else. You didn't decide to do it for
Yeah,
you.
exactly. I was doing it for my clients. I
Right.
want to keep them happy. I want to. They were happy. Harry, the English guys, you want to be in school? I make a school for you. And then they were
Yeah.
happy. Oh, Harry, we're at the school. And then the job. Okay, happy. So I was not, I was doing all this, all the operation, big headache now, all the business. And then I guess they say, no, let's do a restaurant. I say, you got a restaurant? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and it was because of restaurant. If you don't know how to cook like me, is and oh my God, it's a big operation behind. And I took a huge restaurant, and no, we didn't have I didn't have the skills to run this.
And it wasn't something you were passionate about either. If you were
No,
a chef and
uh,
that was what you wanted to do, like you could open 30 restaurants and they would all probably be very
yes,
successful.
no, that's
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like this dream, like you have, like you open 7, 8 businesses. I like to have this, I like to have that, and then you can have in theory, and you can open it and run a little bit. So I have like a small dream, like I would love to have a restaurant. Yeah, but it was not something that I really wanted to do it. I did it for my client, honestly.
Yeah.
But it was a miscalculation that I didn't have enough clients to keep a restaurant going, so I need to bring new clients, and I had a huge place and everything, and the whole thing, it was the thing was eating money like crazy. The gas bill, the water bills, like crazy, and then I'm stuck inside this thing, and I'm trying to make it work. I'm stubborn like you, right? I'm saying I'm gonna make this thing work, whatever it takes. And I remember that my mother-in-law back then, she was an entrepreneur. She used to come to me and said, "Harry, it's not working. Leave it. Just go. You don't need to be here. Leave it." And I was so stubborn that no, I had to make it work. I had to make it work. Well, I didn't make it work. And, so I learned a lesson the hard way. Probably took a hit on my head as well. I had to, you got a mental, you work so hard for 2 years, and then the outcome is you lost 200,000, you lost your girlfriend. The mom obviously tell the daughter, "Listen, what are you doing with this loser?" He doesn't see the thing, get rid of him. So, eventually it was no girlfriend, no more. It was a headache, right? But then you learn, and everything that now we're going to something, we are very careful what we're getting into.
Exactly.
Which time is gonna take, what resources gonna take, am I gonna be, how many hours I need to be involved in the thing, right?
So if you're listening to this, take notes now, because we are preventing a lot of future failures for you.
Absolutely. This is real. This is not something that you learn in a book. This is something that the only people that, Stephanie, if you haven't have a business in the first time and being a mom and have you won't have the knowledge that you have. But also it's very unfair for the entrepreneurs, right? That we work so hard, we take all the heat, we take all this negative emotion, we go all to the hard time, and on top that we take all this, then we don't even have time to go to the doctor. We don't have time to go to holiday. We don't, it's very unfair. We create a job for everybody. So what happened with us? And nobody's gonna come to tell you, "Oh, you need to look." You. The only person responsible is, like I said, the people have to understand the business is not you. Actually, the more you disattach to this business, the better you can sell it. You can do a lot of things with this. And you can go and work because you want to, not because you have to. Completely different ballgame. Passport the office, say hello, how everybody doing. When you can, it's completely different that you have to go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I actually want to say something to that too, because when people say, "Why do you work 20 hours a week or less?" Like, I love what I do. I could not imagine working less. And here's the thing. There are some weeks that I work more than that. I'm not saying that this is just like the be all end all. But the key here is to design a business that will allow you to reach your goals, right? Your time goals, time with your family, your revenue goals in 20 hours a week. After that, after you've been there, you feel good about things. If you have the space, if you have the ability to do more. So for example, I started my membership, Simple Business School, and got that to the point where I was working 20 hours a week. Everything was great. And then I reached a point where I said, okay, things are good. I feel ready to work on this next project. That's when I started the Simple Business Suite. But I did not do both of those together. I focused on one thing at a time, and I added in those other pieces when I have the space. Because if I were to do both, if I tried to do both of those at one time, I've already done it. I knew what would have happened. It wouldn't have worked.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Until one was, we don't do.
So that's why we have to be strategic with how we set it up and how we utilize our time in setting up the companies and running them.
Yeah. The thing is that, when every time we go in business, the first thing is, I want to make a million, want to make a million, want to make a million. You will realize that when you make a million, after 3 days, you are back to
nothing's going to change.
Nothing is going to change in your life.
You have to change your life now.
Exactly.
Now.
Exactly. Yeah. And you start to think what is really important. For me, for example, time is very important. I like to walk, I like to go to a park, and I like to do, like you just said, I talk only with people that I like. I do business with people that I like. I don't talk with people I don't like. I don't do business with people I don't like. I don't have to. I don't need to bring this to my life, and I don't do it. Everything that I do in my life is designed how I want it, because I don't have to do it otherwise. I have to, if I need to make a little bit of money, some money, Well, I will make it. If I don't feel like I'm take a plane on a travel, and that's also okay. And if I want to have a fun with the podcast, I'll do it. And I'm having a blast with the podcast. I'm meeting a lot of amazing people like you. Having a lot. I love it actually. And the so you can think you can do what you love, right?
And that's the thing. It's when people think of entrepreneurship, they think of freedom, and they usually think of traveling or money. But truthfully, it's the freedom of choice.
Yes,
It's choosing how you get to spend your time. It's choosing how you get to spend your money. That's true freedom. Because you can have, like you said, your client who has 500 grocery stores or whatever. He has all the money that he needs, probably.
oh yeah.
But does he have freedom of choice? Freedom of time?
Mm.
No.
He
Right?
take his plane. He come in his plane to go to have coaching session with me, and he come back in his plane. Can you believe that from Turkey?
Oh my gosh.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The
Right.
plane, but crazy. But the thing
Yeah.
is, so the whole thing is that anyway, Stephanie, this is so in your view, right? What are the 5 steps that entrepreneurs should be doing out there to achieve the first million?
Yeah. So really the first thing you need to do is simplify. This is probably not going to surprise anybody because that's what my whole company is about,
That is
right?
very good tip, and I love it.
Yeah, we really need to simplify. And it really comes down to figuring out what that one problem is you solve, right? Because every company solves a problem, right? And you need to figure out what that one problem is that you solve. Okay. So whether you're Amazon and you deliver packages in 2 hours to my house, that's a big problem that they are solving, right? Or you open up a Spanish restaurant, right? Where there's no other Spanish food, that's also solving a problem, right? So you just have to figure out what that problem is that you're solving. And then from there, you have to create an offer that solves that problem, right? So whether that's a restaurant, whether that's coaching, consulting, a software company, right? Like that's step 2. Like figure out what that problem is, figure out how to solve that problem with your offer. Step 3 is figure out who you're solving this problem for, right? So who is your dream person to work with, to buy from you? You need to understand who that person is. And one of my favorite examples of this, this was years and years ago. I think it was Ferrari, maybe. Their director of marketing in an interview, he was asked, why don't you advertise on TV? Why don't you advertise in TV commercials? This was before the internet, right? And he said, my consumers aren't watching TV. They are flying in airplanes. They were business people. So he would advertise in like airplane magazines because that's what his ideal client were reading. So that's one of my favorite examples to share. Like you need to understand who you're talking to in order to target your marketing effectively, because that is going to save you so much time, energy, and money when you understand that. Okay. And then the 4th piece is to really understand your message. So how do you convey the value to that person of the problem that you're solving with your offer, right? So you need to be able to very easily tell somebody what it is that you do or your company does, how you help them. Because if you cannot do that in less than 2 seconds, people are just, they're not going to be available, right? Everybody's attention spans these days are so short. You have to make it so incredibly easy for them to understand, right? You need to make it easy to understand. You don't want them to think twice about it because you want to connect with that person as quickly as possible, okay? And then the 5th piece, this is specifically to online business owners, but I mean, this also works for brick and mortar, is to pick one marketing platform and go all in on it, right? So if you are focused on helping professionals, that could be LinkedIn, right? But when you start to focus your attention on different platforms, different offers, try to solve different problems, that is when you notice yourself spiraling. And that is when the 60, 80, 100-hour weeks start to come up on you, and it just gets incredibly overwhelming very quickly. So that is why we really need to focus on those 5 pieces to simplify and just double down on all of them. Double down and go all in.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. And Stephanie, somebody, the entrepreneurs out there, they're listening this podcast and they think that, wow, what Stephanie sharing is amazing and resonate with that. So for all those entrepreneurs that are working like 40, 60 hours tirelessly Monday to Sunday, they need more focus. They need to simplify. They need the right mentor, somebody that actually done it before, right? Because if somebody have done it before, they definitely can help you, and you deserve to be helped because, again, right? It's affect all the success of the business is in the psychology. 98% of the success of the business is the psychology of the entrepreneurs, what you have in the head, right? And if you're tiring and you're working Monday to Sunday, you're not gonna have this mental health and this stability that you need to actually run the business successful. And like we said before, emotional pain can lead into physical pain. You can have a relationship with your children, with your family, with your wife, and we all hear stories like that a lot, right? So even some people in the podcast, I think, will say, I say, how you made the million? I say, well, it cost me my wife. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was
And
not,
they are joking about it, but that's still a very
that's
difficult
the
thing to go
truth.
through.
Yeah, it's really the
Yeah.
truth. So Stephanie, how can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So my website is theblakecollective.com. So that's the best place. If you're interested in learning more about the Simple Business School, it's Simple Biz with a Z, simplebizschool.com. And then my software is the Simple Business Suite, which is Simple Biz with a Z, suite.com.
Yeah. And then I'm so happy, Stephanie. Only 3 business. Yeah, keep it tight.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, they sound very good. No, I like the education one a lot. I think that the people need to have an education so they can go to the online courses and get some education and more information on everything that we covered today. That would be very, very helpful for the entrepreneurs. What the actually the impact that because sometimes you just inside this business trying to make money, trying to run in everything, and you are so immersed in that environment that you forgot that you have a life, that you forgot that you have a head, that you forgot that you have relationship, and it's the other way around. You become an entrepreneur to design your life on your terms. Like that's why you quit corporate, to design how you want to live your life, to help the people you want. That happen that you and I would like to help entrepreneurs. Great, you know what I mean? And you design how you live your life, right?
Yeah, you just need sometimes somebody with an outside perspective to give you a kick in the butt.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm really good at.
Do you have any especially for moms entrepreneurs?
I have a lot lot in my world.
I don't doubt, because
I just attract them.
the best way to learn it for another mom that owns a business productivity, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So we serve men and women, of course, inside the Simple Business School, but we have both.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stephanie. That was have been amazing. Yes, and we are very grateful that you shared your valuable time with us, and you gave a lot of good information to our audience. Definitely, your links for your platforms we're gonna put in the description when we publish the broadcast. And for every single one of you entrepreneurs listening this podcast in Apple or Spotify, or following us in our social media, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable, how brave entrepreneur like Stephanie break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.